Thanks for coming on, Andy speaking, Friday, January the 3rd. Apologies you're going to get this late this evening. I've had a really busy time, and I did watch the darts as well. But I just want to say I'm not covering England so straight away to say that, because I think we're going to get an absolute raft of postponements tomorrow. I think we might get some in Scotland, but I don't think Scotland's going to be as bad. I got a few friends that live in Scotland, and I've spoke to them, and we're hopeful that the majority of games should be on. Excuse me. Whereas England, I'm not so sure. Another reason I'm not going to play in England is fatigue. We only had one bet on New Year's Day, which thankfully won, but that's the only bet. Well, I advised two bets. One of them was postponed, the Huddersfield game, advised Huddersfield, and the other game he played in won. But so we've only had one bet in England so far this year. But I was aware. I've got a good friend of mine, someone I know, told me that Wycombe were out on their feet, and I think they were 2s on or something to beat Exeter, and they scraped to a 2-1 win. So if you see what I mean, I just felt that there were a couple of odd results as well, and thankfully our Walsall are absolutely flying. I think they're going to win the league now. I think that win at Notts County, I know we're only in January, but that was a real tough assignment out the way. So very pleased where we stand there, as you know, 25-1, and it's unbelievable that Wimbledon are there and Salford, and they are 3 of our outrights, and they are all massive prices. Kick ourselves if we didn't do a forecast, but there we go. That's nothing. But the point I'm saying is that I just think that I think particularly in Leagues 1 and League 2, which is where we obviously play more often. 95% of our bets in England come from League 1 and League 2. So I'm going to sit it out this weekend, as I say, mainly because of the weather, but secondly because of the fatigue for situation, and it's something which I was aware about. Wycombe was one club. There were 3 other clubs which I was told about fatigue, and 2 of them didn't win, and they went off favourites. I'm not going to name any names because I wouldn't want to expose anybody, but not that I would be doing that, but I just don't like betraying people's confidence. And as I say, there was another 3 teams that I was told about, that they were out on their feet, and 2 of them didn't win, and they were favourites. So there's just been a lot of football in a short space of time. And I know for the other day, Walsall were knackered when they came up against Notts County. They gave everything in that game, and I don't think they've got a game tomorrow though. So, but look, let's get on with this. Maybe Scotland anyway is our main source, isn't it? As you know, and let's see how we go. But as I say, I'm going to sit it out in England, and there was probably 3 or 4 games that I was willing to bet in England, and 3 of them I do think there was 4 games that I was willing to play in, and I think 3 of them will be called off. So I just don't think it's worthwhile, and you can get the odd strange result, as I say, when the weather's like this, and secondly because of fatigue. So let's keep the powder dry in England. It makes sense. If in doubt, don't bet. Right. Scottish Premiership, Hibernian Rangers 17-23-60. Rangers were superb the other day against Celtic. There's no getting away from that. That was a remarkable performance. I really do take my hat off to them. It was a masterclass. I just don't understand it. It's just such an odd situation there, but that was I watched the game, incredible. Take my hat off to them. I think they'll win this. There's nothing in them. Hibs, I make 9-2. Bookmakers have got them in at around the same price. But it's just like Rangers to go and throw this one away, isn't it? Because the away record's poor. If you look to the top 8, Hibs are 7th. To the top 8 away, Rangers' record reads 1-1-4, which is awful. There's no getting away from that. But Hibs are a team I don't trust, but I do think they've turned a bit of a corner. 5 wins in the last 8, just that one defeat. And I think, was that at Celtic? I can't remember, but they've turned a corner. But it's not a game to play, and there's no value. Rangers obviously most likely is winners. Motherwell Aberdeen 44 28. This is slightly lopsided, and what I mean by that is a lot of that figure has come from Aberdeen. Now, if you're unaware, Aberdeen, it was just an incredible run. I can't remember what it was. I think it was it 11 wins and a draw from the first 12 or something? I can't. No, it was 10. It was 10 wins and a draw from the first 11. So first 11 games, 10 wins, 1 draw. The next 10 games have yielded, I think, is it 3 draws and 7 defeats? Or 6 defeats? Is it something like, I can't remember, but it has just fallen off a cliff. We backed against them last time out, and that was successful, and it was a decent price. I've got trust issues with Motherwell. I just don't fully trust them. They have beaten St Mirren here and Dundee United out of the top 5, and did draw here with Rangers 2-2. So it's not the worst form, and it's not inconceivable, is it? I do think I just can't find out what's happened at Aberdeen. I really, really can't. I mean, was confidence that brittle that they won 10 from 11 and then they incurred a defeat and the wheels just completely fell off? If that's their mental fragility, wow, I'm shocked. But there's 0.25 in Motherwell at 44%. It's entirely up to you. Celtic St Mirren 75-17. I would not fancy being in St Mirren's shoes after the hiding that Celtic got at Rangers yesterday. Celtic at 8-1-0 at home, and they've scored a minimum of 2 goals in every home game. I would expect a 4 or 5-0 hiding for tomorrow for St Mirren. If you want to back St Mirren, there's 15 points in them because they're 26-1. We make them 11-1. We give them an 8% chance of winning. Bookmakers are giving them a heck of a lot less than that. But look, forget the game. 2-17 is just ludicrous. If I was going to play here, I would split a point on a 4-0 and 5-0 scoreline, because I do think Celtic will run riot. They've shipped 2 goals here all season, and that was only in one game against Aberdeen when the Dons were flying. I think 4 or 5-0 tomorrow. I really, really do. And I'd split a point on 4 and 5-0. But I might actually do that. But I'm just saying, that's if I was going to play, that's what I'd do. Dundee United at home to Hearts, 48-27-25. They've picked up a bit. 1 defeat in the last 8. And that was at Motherwell by the odd goal in 7. So I think Dundee United, they're going along okay. They're 3rd in the table. And their home record to teams below them is pretty good. It reads 5-2-1. I think that's pretty good. We think they should be 11-10 for this, not 7-5. There's 0.3 in that at 48%. So if you're considering backing Motherwell to beat Aberdeen, got to back Dundee United, haven't you, to beat Hearts? And 7-5, I know, is shorter than 6-4, but it's got a 4% chance more of winning, and the value is better. So if you had to have one bet at the 2, if you're saying Motherwell, don't bother betting. Dundee United is the bet if you were forced to choose between the 2. But again, I think both of them are rated highly enough, and both of them have got a bit of value in. Hearts, it's improved a bit. I suppose you could say it's improved a bit, but it's still patchy. I mean, if you look at the last 8, win, draw, loss, win, draw, loss. They're 1-2-7 on the road. They're 11th in the table. The only win's been against 12th place St Johnstone. And they've shipped a fair number of goals. I'm told Critchley isn't overly popular. That's what I've heard. So take that as how you will. But the value certainly with Dundee United. Kilmarnock Ross 55-26-19. Killy are okay at home. They're 4-3-2. They lost 3-0 at home to St Johnstone, but I don't take that as a loss because they had somebody sent off very, very early in that match. And aside from that, if you ignore that match, they are 4-3-1 at home. The only defeat was against Celtic, 2-0 at home. They beat Rangers 1-0 here. Did we back them that day? I can't remember. I know we backed Kilmarnock recently. I'm sure we have. I don't know. I may be getting confused. I'm old. But anyway, we see them at 4-5. They're 7-10. There's no value there. Ross 19%. Ross have turned a bit of a corner. 4 defeats on the row, but they've drawn 1-2 and drawn 1 of the last 3. Interestingly enough, both of those wins have been on the road against Dundee and Aberdeen, and that's pretty damning as well. To when I talk about Aberdeen, Ross winning there because Ross aren't great away from Dingwall, but to get a result at Aberdeen, fair play to them. St Johnstone Dundee, very tough game to work out this one. St Johnstone winning the last 8, got a home record of 2-1-7. The wins have been against Kilmarnock and Ross, who are 8th and 10th. If you want to look at it from 7th and below, St Johnstone's home record reached 2-1-1, which isn't too bad. Dundee and 9th. Dundee on the road are 2-3-5. They've won at St Mirren and Motherwell, drawn at Hibernian and Kilmarnock and Dundee United. So you would say that Dundee aren't without a chance here. If I was going to play in this game, I'd certainly play Dundee, but there's no value there, so it's a game to swerve. If I had to play in the Premier League, it would be Dundee United. Right, moving on to the Championship. Airdrie Falkirk was supposed to be tonight, but that game was called off. So you can see what we're sort of up against. It is tricky, but I'm not going to waste my time going through England because I know that a load of them are going to be off. I have higher hopes for Scotland. I hope I'm right. I'm not a weather forecaster, but I've spoken to people there and say, yeah, it's good. It's fine to play football, but whether their opinion and what we actually see, what referees etc. say is two different things. But I do think we'll get some action in Scotland. Right, Ayr Wraith 55-26-19. See them at 4-5. They're 19-20. There's 0.15 in there. Pretty good at home. Got a 7-2-1 record. The only defeat's been at home to Livingston. Beat Wraith here 2-0 earlier in the season. Wraith have picked up of late. They've won 3 on the spin, and they finally got an away win on the road at Queen's Park. But I still don't like the away record. It's 1-1-6. I don't know. I think you have to play Ayr. You can say, yeah, well, Wraith are picking up, but the road form hasn't improved. A 1-1 draw at Partick and a 2-1 win at Queen's Park. Ayr are third. They're better than Partick and Queen's Park on form. You'd have to play Ayr. Morton Hamilton 50-24-26. This frightens me to death. But we did back Morton the other week when they were 13-5 or something, and they won for us. My thoughts on backing Morton. But 1 defeat in the last 8, and that was a thumping at Falkirk a while ago. They're 7 unbeaten, but they've only won 3 of them. But at home they're 4-3-2. They've lost to the top 5 teams, Falkirk and Queen's Park. Their record at home to teams in the bottom reached 3-1-0. They've scored 6 goals and haven't conceded. Hamilton are 8th. Hamilton on the road are 1-2-6. You have to bank the ton. And I didn't mind backing the other week because I can't remember whether they were 13-5, 11-5 or something, and they won for us. But I don't like that price. But it's not. It's about that. And the ratings high. It's a very, very high rating. But there's no way you can argue it. Morton deserve to be favourites for this game, and very short as well. Partick against Dunfermline 62-22-16. Unbeaten at home, Thistle. Got a 6-4-0 record. They've done the double over Dunfermline already this season. Dunfermline on the road are 0-1-8. I can't see anything here than a routine victory for Partick. We think they should be 8-13. They're 4-5. There's 0.1 in it. It has to be back, doesn't it, really? Queen's Park, Livingston, 30-26-44. I wouldn't mind seeing this game, but highly unlikely I'll be able to get a string for this. Queen's Park lost 5 of the last 8, just 2 victories. Both of those have been against teams in the bottom half of the table. Livy are second. They've played each other twice already, both draws. My only concern is Livingston. Wheels have just come off a bit slightly. That defeat at Wraith and that defeat at home to Ayr. I'm still not convinced. I mean, there's 6 points adrift of Falkirk, but they do need to start turning some of these draws into wins. They really, really do. David Martindale, I think, is always one that takes the safety of first approach, and sometimes it's not the right way, but there we go. Right, let's move on. League One. Arbroath, Alloa, so congested. Still, I think, in and around the top, isn't it? But Arbroath are starting to, they've shown their teeth after that awful start. 6 without a win, wasn't it, or something? They've really, really picked up. And as I say, my friend of mine whose brother's on the board there, and they did expect a promotion challenge this season. And, yeah, they've not let people down. I just felt they were too short at the time to get involved with. 50-26-24, 6-2-2 at home. Defeats have been against Kelty and Dumbarton, but that was a while ago. They've been pretty good at home since then. Alloa, wheels have come off a bit, haven't they? Just 2 wins in the last 8. They've lost the last 3. I'm not sure what to make. I think Arbroath will probably win this game, but there's no value in the game anyway. Do you know, League One's been a real difficult league this season. As well as keeping all the results, I keep all the results in leagues and again, League 2 is the best league for us this season has been the Championship, followed by League 2. League 2 never disappoints. It normally goes League 2, 1, Championship. In Premiership, it normally goes that way, but Championship's been the best league for us this season. The strike rate's off the scale. I think it's not knocking 70% or something, but and League 2's going well as well. But League 1 hasn't. And when I look through this coupon, is there anybody I'd really want to back there? Maybe Stenhouse. I wouldn't want to back Kelty and Queen of the South, that's for sure, but maybe it's because of what's happened at Livingston and Dumbarton and my rating on teams like Annan are poor. Yeah, I don't know. It's just been a tough league, and as I say, that start that Arbroath had, they, sort of slipped right out of the picture, and that have bounced right back. And Alloa, they're not a side to trust. They can, the only team they've given a proper beating to was Annan 5-0. All the rest have been like 1-0s, and they did beat Kelty 2-0, but they're not a side that goes to town on anybody. They're not. I just don't think they're that good. Right, Inverness, Dumbarton, 55-26-19. I think Inverness will probably win. I just don't like the price. It's that simple. Dumbarton have won the last twice. They've only lost 3 on the road. At Steny, Kelty, they're in the top 3, and Queen of the South. So it wasn't one which I was jumping all over with Inverness. Although I do expect them to win. And it's going to be one of these two that goes down, isn't it? Purely because of the points deductions. Probably Dumbarton. Montrose Kelty, 38-24-38. Montrose, I think they'll be quite happy with where they are, Montrose. I can't even begin to think about backing them again this season. And the reason why is quite simply, I don't think they want to go up for financial reasons, because they'd have to spend an awful lot. They're not going to go down. I just don't think there's. I think motivation already is an issue. I really do think that. And, you know, they're not going to go down. They're 13 points clear of Inverness, who are 9th, and 16 points clear of Dumbarton, who are bottom. I mean, they're only a few points off the playoffs. It wouldn't surprise me if they were in the playoffs, but they're not a club which is going to go up, and they're not going to go down. So, and when you've got teams like that, I'm always loath to get involved, because they might not turn up tomorrow. They might turn up. You just don't know. They're 3-3-3 at home, and that's exactly what I mean. Win, draw, win, draw. It's one of those, isn't it? Kelty on the road are 3-4-3, which again is sort of win, draw, loss. And so to play in a game like this, I think is madness. But if you must, you'd have to play Kelty because there's a bit of value in them. Queen of the South Cove, 42-26-32, 6-2-1 at home, Queen of the South, compared to 0-2-7 on the road. Chalk and cheese, isn't it? But that still doesn't mean I trust them. Cove are 4th. Cove are 5-2-3 on the road. They're better on the road, Cove. They got turned over here 2-1 earlier in the season, didn't they? So, or was it 2-0? I can't remember. I know they got turned over here. But yeah, I mean, if I had to play, I would play Queen of the South. 0.13 at 42%. Stenhousemuir, Annan, 62-28-10. I thought they should be a heck of a lot shorter than 5-6. I really did. They got a 6-1-2 home record. They gave Annan a 5-1 thumping here earlier in the season. Annan on the road are 2-1-7. The road wins from Annan were first game of the season and against bottom club Dumbarton not so long ago. Take those two out of the picture, they're 0-1-7. They also got a 5-0 doing at Alloa. I can't see anything other than a Stenhousemuir win here. I don't know whether I should say this on here, but I'm not overly the biggest Stenhousemuir fan. There was a game last season, they were at home to Clyde. They were 1-6. Clyde was 16-1. Clyde stuffed them 5-1 or something. Make of that what you will. It was one of those, wasn't it? I think. And just yeah. So I mean, you know, I'm not saying anything untoward happened in that game, but Stenhousemuir were at home to Clyde. Clyde was 16-1. Stenhousemuir 1-6 or something. There was a bit of money for Clyde, and Clyde routed them. Depends how you see it. Yeah, Steny had won the league. They were at home to Clyde on the back of a couple of draws, and they were 6s on or something, and Clyde was 16-1. Clyde won 6-1 at Steny. And Clyde was supported in the morning. Make of that what you will when it comes to taking odds on about Stenhousemuir. Let's move on. Right, Clyde Stirling, 48-27-25. Not heard anything from Clyde about the money that needed to be raised as yet. I was going to ask about that, but I thought I'd leave it till next week after the festive period had settled down. 4-4-1 at home, Clyde. Only loss has been against Stirling, so they'll be out for revenge tomorrow, you would think. Anyway, but no value in the game, 11-10. That's what price we see them. 5-2 Stirling. That's not right. That's not 5-2. That's 3-1. I don't know why I put that there. And yeah, there's nothing in the game. If you had to play, you'd play Clyde. I think 11-10 is the right price though for a team that are 4-4-1 at home. Really, I really do. I wouldn't want to take any shorter. Best to leave it. East 5-4-Far, 57-23-20, 7-1-1 at Bayview. East 5 is a decent home record. Got a game in hand, haven't they, of the top two, Elgin and Peterhead. we make them 8-11 for this. They're 10-11. There's 0.19 in it. Form's been a bit patchy. 2 wins in the last 8, but they got the wheels back on last time, didn't they? They beat Clyde 5-1 here, so I'd expect them to beat Forfar. Forfar are bottom. They're 1-0-7 on the road. Their only win's been against Bonnyrigg, who are 9th, a place above them. So I can't see anything other than a routine home win here for East Fife. Right, that brings us on to Edinburgh Bonnyrigg. 40-28-32. I can't believe we're considering backing Edinburgh, but we have to. They're 4-1-3 at home. They've won 5 of the last 8. And they've beaten Elgin here, Spartans, Clyde, Forfar. I think 19-10 is rather big for the visit of Bonnyrigg, who are 2-2-5 on the road. Who had a 5-1 doing at Forfar, a 5-0 doing at East Fife. Bit flaky on the road, Bonnyrigg. There's almost half a point in Edinburgh at 40%. It's up to you how you see it. Elgin Spartans, patchy. Last 8 games of Elgin, won 4, lost 4. So beginning to feel a bit of the heat, I think, at the top. Turned over here as well by Stirling not so long ago. But they're okay on the road, Stirling, or have been, or can be. We see Elgin evens, they're 6-5. They're 6-2-1 at home. So there's, it's still a decent, formidable record. Spartans are 1-3-4 on the road. Their only win's been at bottom club Forfar. It's their Achilles heel for sure, is their away form. And again, like Elgin, the last 8, they've won 4 and lost 4. So it's very difficult to get a handle on them. I think Elgin ought to win. There's 0.2 in them. It's how you see it. Peterhead against Stranraer, 55-24-21. 6-1-2 at home, Peterhead. Just when you think they're going to take off, they go and bloody throw one away. I don't know what to make of them. Obviously, I'm hopeful they're going to win the league, but I still think they got the best. Well, I know they've got the best squad on paper, but as ever, football's not played on paper; it's played on grass or, well, AstroTurf or whatever it is up here. But I don't think they should be as short as 7-10. But Stranraer's road form 3-1-5. I mean, I never know what to make of them. I mean, Stranraer are always a team for me that nobody likes to go down and play. But at home they're 1-5-2. And on the road they're 3-1-5. I mean, it's very rare Stranraer's away form is better than their home form. They've done the double over East Fife as well, which I find incredible. I do think Peterhead did ought to be winning this tomorrow though, but 7-10 is a bit skinny. But look, that's it, guys. I do hope we get some action, but let's wait and see. Yeah, but as I say, I'd regardless of the weather, I wouldn't have a great deal of confidence to play in England this weekend anyway. So that's it. I'll be back next time. Fingers crossed. Bye for now.